Hello and welcome to tonight's weather video. We are under a winter storm watch, and today we had pretty breezy conditions, some clouds over the east end. If you were in the middle of most of the island, you had some patchy clouds, and if you were in Jersey, it was mostly sunny. Despite the wind, it was pretty mild today. We have clouds streaming in now, and temperatures are in the mid-30s. You see that winter storm watch that's in effect for most of good part of New Jersey, western Long Island. 36 degrees at Islip after hitting a high of 48 today. And temperatures are dropping, but it was pretty windy today. You see, looking at Islip, you could see gusts up into the 40s at times, and then the wind kind of dropped off as we got toward the afternoon. Looking at, we had a nice sunny day, got out there to enjoy some blue sky. There were some clouds around, but we did have some nice blue sky to get to some pines for a little bit. And there were some patchy clouds you see there in the picture. And then tonight, just starry skies to start, and then the clouds have come in, unfortunately. So let's go and look at the back to our weather map here. All right, and you can see here that we're not really seeing any radiational cooling. West Hampton set to 32. Again, we got mid-30s. The alley's still like 42, but Ocean County Airport has dropped to 28, and it doesn't look like they're seeing any wind, so maybe I don't think they're going to get any radiational cooling because the clouds are kind of coming in, or high overcast at least, though it's saying it's clear. They got up to 48 today. JFK had a wind gust up to 48, actually, today. So let's go look at the high temperatures today, and like I said, it was a mild day across the area, upper 40s for a lot of locations, close to 50 if you were in Jersey, especially Ocean County on Southwood. And we were above normal today, high of 48, which was 6 degrees above normal, low of 36, 8 degrees above normal, and 7 degrees above normal for the day at Islip. Lows are probably the current temperatures that we've got right now. Or maybe they were this morning. Maybe we did get some cooling this morning. But it's going to turn colder as we head into tomorrow night. Looking at the weather map here, you will see that we've got high pressure over us. There's a little disturbance that's moving through. It's bringing some clouds. But we have the system off to the west. And this is what's going to help fuel our chance for snowfall here. And if we go and we look at winter weather here into this map here, we put this to day 2, day 3, you see, look at what happens on day 3. They've got us in a 40% chance of seeing winter weather in our area here. Snowfall greater than 4 inches. That's what we have. That's what we are going to be on the lookout for. All right. And again, looking at our satellite image, you see the clouds streaming in across our area. This is not from the snow event. This is from a little disturbance that we have. The energy for the snow event is all the way back in the West Coast, and they've had some crazy weather in the West. They've had terrible atmospheric river events going on. And it looks like California is dealing with some really nasty stuff right now. We got this is just a storm. That's storm warnings that they have, marine weather statements. This is and look at what we got over the land. Plenty of wind to speak of, and there's been some heavy rain as well, thunderstorms. And we got, what is this? This is a severe. What is this? That's a winter storm warning for the mountains. So in the mountains, they're getting snow, and they got wind advisories on high wind warnings, flood warnings, and all this kind of crazy stuff going on with this storm here. But this is something that's going to impacting us. This is what the energy from that storm is coming from. You can see, again, there's that winter storm watch that we have for you. So let's go to the models, and let's see what is going to be happening as we head into the weekend. And right now, there is a briefing from the Weather Service. I'll just briefly look over it here. They're calling for 4 to 8 inches possible worst case scenario of 8 to 10 inches. Peak snowfall rates of around 1 inch possible with a low chance of up to 2 inch an hour and heavier snow bands. Rest of area has 2 to 5 inches possible. Dry powdery snow is going to be, it is going to become wetter, but it's going to start off dry and powdery because we have this Arctic air that is going to be moving in to the area. and that is part of the reason why we've seen these higher snowfall amounts that they are forecasting. So let's go. And first, I just want to show you the radar here. You can see there's an area of precipitation. There might be a slight chance for flurry overnight, but mainly it's going to be out west. And for some reason, yeah, there's the storm. So this is the western storm here that's going to be affecting us as a snow event as we get toward the Friday night into Saturday morning time frame. Now, of course, let's go ahead and look at some of the models now. I'll shift this over to the eastern U.S. First with the GFS. Okay, so tomorrow, we're dry tomorrow. Friday, you can see here comes that Arctic air tomorrow night to Friday. That high builds down, and then here comes that low, which is the energy from the California storm. It's a clipper kind of low. And it's unusual to see a clipper produce higher end snowfall totals. But we have this Arctic air in place, and they can see the track the storm goes to the south. So we start seeing the snow Friday night, and it could be pretty heavy at times through Saturday morning, and then that low slowly moves away as we get into later on Saturday. And then another batch of cold, high pressure comes in, and then the next storm would wind up being a rain event, and then after that, we would be dealing with some even colder Arctic air behind that. So let's go to the European now. You know, I mean, they all look pretty similar, I think, but we'll. So here's the European. The European's even heavier with the precip. You see that dark blue area too. That could be a real thump of snow Friday night. And there's that. See, so it starts to evolve into like a coastal storm as it moves southeast. But we have the high pressure nosing down, so that's going to provide the Arctic air. And that's why I don't think we're going to see any mixing at all. Now, if you're in Jersey, you might, but I don't think for Long Island, I don't think mixing is going to be an issue here at all. So that's kind of like gives you the general idea of what's happening. And if we go to the CONUS view just for a moment and go to the upper air, show you again what's happening. So in upper air, you really don't see this in the upper air too much, this storm. It doesn't really even so visible in the upper air. So interestingly enough, it doesn't really show up that well in the upper air because it's just a clipper. It's not associated. You can see there's that trough. It's just a clipper, but it's a real. There's a good amount of moisture. So let's go to the total of the 700 to 300 humidity here. I'll show you what I mean. So see this clipper, and it's got a decent amount of moisture to work with. This moisture is coming all the way from California. It's not coming from the tropics here. It's coming from the storm. It's coming from the Pacific, and that is, you can see, that is going to help generate the snows. So let's take a closer look at the HRRR model, and we will go ahead and look at the 0Z run of the HRRR. And we'll first start with the dew points and the wind flow to show you where the air is coming from. Obviously, we're just having northeast wind. It's turning east, and it will turn southwest to start tomorrow for Christmas Day. It's going to be a fairly quiet Christmas Eve. And then we have a west winds picking up later in the day. And then you can see there's the Arctic air, and look what happens tomorrow night. That Arctic air comes straight down. We got a north wind, and that Arctic air is going to come straight down and drop things in a hurry. I mean, the dew points are going to drop very low Friday morning, and that sets the stage for the snow. We have plenty of cold air and plenty of dry air, which will support all snow over Long Island. With that, I don't think we're going to have any mix. The good news is it will be powdery, but it might end wetter. And even if we do get powdery snow, unfortunately, we're going to have rain, which is going to mess things up as we get into Sunday. But we're just talking about the weather through Saturday in this video. So here we are for Friday, and you can see that cold air. It really comes in. So we're in the 40s tomorrow, but then by tomorrow night, temperatures quickly drop below freezing. And by Friday morning, we are in the upper teens and low 20s. And the temperatures aren't really going to go they're going to go only up to close to 30 degrees on Friday, much colder. And that it sets the stage for the snow. Now, this model only goes out to 0Z, but you see how this is all working out. All right. Now, as far as precipitation, we're dry tomorrow, and much of Friday we're dry. But then as we get into the evening, That snow is going to start right around 7. First start's kind of light. This is as far as the HRRR gives us. So, and it's not really showing a whole lot of snow here. It really has a lot of dry air, which tends to keep the snow down. But this is again 0Z. This is a ways out, and that is one model here. Let's go to the NAM 12 because this is the only one that's really going to go further out here. So you can see that it actually starts as a mix, believe it or not. Now the NAM has it rain, oddly enough. I'm not sure if I'm even buying that at this point. So the NAM still doesn't really have a whole lot of snow for us. Oddly enough, this is the NAM here. And it has it mixing. I'm not sure if I'm even buying that and why it's doing that. Let's look at the dew points in the wind flow here, because the NAM still shows that cold air building in, but then it shifts the winds to the southeast, and that brings the warm air in and changes it over. And with a setup like this, it would only give us a couple of inches of snow with a setup like this. So still, we're not there yet. We're still not there yet. I can't make a forecast, or even I'm just going to say, yeah, there's the potential to have a winter storm warning, but I would not issue one until we see more substantial stuff from the models. All right, so those are the short-range models that I can show you at this point. The HDRPS is not going to show us anything. We have to go to the European and some of the longer-range models. So let's go to that. So this is the European model, and you can see the European has us in the dark blues on the overnight period, and then you can see how it becomes a wetter snow. You can see how Jersey would get less because there's a warmer air that's coming in. But I still think it could be a good thump of snow for us. But I have my doubts that we're going to see like 8 to 10 inches. I don't think we're going to see that much. That's the European model. Let's go to the GFS model. This is the next model we can look at here. And the GFS has been more of a heavier snow maker on this particular model, particular storm, I should say. So let's go look at the total snowfall in this one output. Yeah, this is the GFS. This is the one that's giving us those 8 to 10 readings on this. It's a clipper, all right? It's unusual that a clipper would bring this much precipitation, but you have to remember that it has that moisture from the Pacific Atmospheric River. So if we look at the total accumulated precip, it could be almost a half to almost an inch of liquid equivalent. If we look at the European, it's much drier. So the GFS is much wetter, the European is much drier. So we still have differences in the models. It's really hard to really say what's going to happen with this storm at this point, with this variation in the models that we have. The European, obviously, I'm not somebody who trusts the GFS very much. I want to just go to the 12Z European and see if that was a little different. It's pretty similar. Let's go to the Icon model. Now, the Icon seems to be like the GFS. This is the 0Z run. It only goes out to 18Z Saturday, but that would be enough. And that one also, more like the GFS, seems to have like a strip of really heavy precipitation going down right from like along the Five Corners right across the Long Island there. And if we look at the total snowfall, again, this would be the higher end amounts, but you could see that it would have like a stripe over the western part along. It's very unusual to see models put paint totals that in this particular pattern. It's kind of unusual, really, to be honest with you. So this is what the Icon shows. Let's see if the RGEM has some information. So here's the RGEM for you. Not a model I like to use, but you can see it gives Long Island a lot more snow and barely anything to Jersey. So again, this is you have some models that are doing this that have this clipper just putting on a lot of snow. But we don't really have enough models to really make a decision at this point. At this point, so this will just have to be watched. Let me go to windy.com. Let me go to windy.com here because we can look at the European snowfall output on this. So let's go ahead and see what this has on the snowfall amount on the European. New snow. All right, let's move this over to. All right, so this is the European. And honestly, this is what I tend to agree with at this point. I'm not really buying the really crazy snow amounts, but I think it could be around 5 inches for Long Island, which would be just under the winter storm warning criteria. But we'll have to see what happens. We are under that winter storm watch, and we'll have to see as more models come out. But it would be premature to issue a winter storm warning at this point. When we have more models tomorrow, I think we'll have a better idea of things. So let me just go back to the skies here at this point. Just do the cloud forecast because tomorrow is looking a little brighter than we originally thought. Obviously, we have the clouds tonight, but they're going to thin out as we get toward later in the afternoon tomorrow. There'll be a little bit of a break before we see some more cloudiness. And then for Friday, we'll start off with a little sun, but then the clouds will thicken pretty quickly as we get into the storm system. And then for the weekend, unfortunately, it's going to be pretty gloomy all weekend long. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of sun. But again, I'm going to talk about that as we get toward Friday. I think that'll be my next weather video on Friday. Maybe tomorrow night. We'll have to see. But anyway, wish you all a Merry Christmas and keep an eye on this storm. Obviously, again, the Weather Service has issued that winter storm watch, and we do have the potential to see a lot. But right now, the models are like split and without any agreement. So without any agreement, it's really impossible to really have a guess. We are going to see snow, but exactly how much, I can't tell you right now at this moment. But certainly, if you're on Long Island, I think you're going to see better chances for snowfall than, say, to the south. I think the winter storm watch for Ocean County is uncalled for at this point from any of the models from what I've seen. So it would mainly be in that stretch between Five Corners down to the Hudson Valley and to the western and central parts of Long Island that we could see the higher snow amounts. But right now, it's too early to make a forecast. So anyway, thank you for watching, and good night.